Vincent, we've seen the recent outbreak of E. coli in Europe and the effects that's had on the farming industry. Now we're really starting to see the effects of the drought that's been gripping at least the northern part of Europe. But exactly how much impact is this going to have compared to the E. coli?
Well, I think it is potentially more serious and more long-lasting. The E. coli outbreak obviously is a very severe thing, but it's an acute problem that sort of has crept up on farmers, on consumers, on policymakers over the last few weeks and has become a sort of food scare. And I think that actually the German authorities are still struggling to isolate the cause of it and to actually decide precisely where and what caused this outbreak. The drought is more serious. It's been creeping up on Europe actually for months now. There hasn't been a drop of rain across northern Europe for a long time, apart from 1 or 2 days. And I think that in terms of its impact on food prices and on consumer behaviour and on inflation, actually the drought probably is more serious.
Right. So is this something that policymakers need to do something about? Is this something that they're actively considering?
Well, I think that they're beginning to realise that it's an issue. Drought is it takes a long time for the impact of a drought and for the fact of a drought, if you like, to dawn on people. But I think that we're already seeing, if you like, the first signs of the impact of the drought on food prices, creeping up, wheat prices, grain prices across the board, etc. And so I think that they're already beginning to realise that it's an issue. Consumers are already beginning to sort of complain about the impact on higher food prices. Right across Europe, food prices are rising. And I think that it will become actually quite a big issue for policymakers quite soon.
Right. And how does the effect of the wheat ban in Russia that was recently been an issue and them also banning potentially infected E. coli produce, is that factoring in?
Well, I think that Russia banned wheat banned the export of wheat last year because it had its own very severe drought. I think one of the worst actually in the country's history. And in the Russian context, the ban on exports actually worked. It allowed Russia to recover and to restock its own supplies of wheat, etc. And it has lifted that ban now. But I think that what may happen is that rising food prices and food scarcity mean that there is the possibility of food nationalism, and I think we may see a rise in that.
Right. So potentially constricted supply for grain crops particularly coming up, so I guess consumers can expect to be paying higher food prices in the supermarket.